big story this week is revisiting the 1999 U.S. Open win by Payne Stewart. Now, what is it? Obviously, of course, he had the tragic death in a plane crash soon after his win, but what is it that you think really makes him live on in our imaginations even 15 years after the fact?
He was a character. I mean, you know, you go back to the 80s, and a lot of sports writers wrote about how the PGA Tour was a bunch of blonde clones. You couldn't tell them apart. And Payne stood out. He had the clothing. He was a showman. He loved it. You know, his dad was a furniture salesman in Missouri, and his dad wore crazy color sports coat. I mean, basically, Payne did what his dad did. His dad wore this stuff to attract attention and make sales, and he had that show pony in him, and he wanted to show off his great golf shots, and that really was what made him stand out once he started winning. Until then, he's just a guy who dressed funny. But once you combine that with winning and the occasional brash statement, I mean, he backed it up, and people remembered him more than anything.
We tend to really relate to the guys that give us that raw emotion, that real honest answer. And in the footage that I've seen of him, sometimes he'd be in the media center and say, "Bring it on, guys, lay it on me, what'd I do wrong?" He might be swigging a beer, having a cigarette. He seemed just like a real, genuine guy's guy.
Yeah, one of the great characters on tour, and that was very deliberate, which, you know, I think was interesting. The wearing of the knickerbockers and the +4s or +2s, whatever we call them. I've never tried them, but
be a good look for you,
he
Shane.
could carry them off. He was amazing, like a bit of a peacock, but he knew that this was good for his brand. He knew this was. I mean, he was in show business and he embraced that. But what I love about Payne Stewart is his swing. I think it's one of the greatest swings of all time, and I think I'm correct in saying it was kind of the logo for the PGA Tour for some time. It certainly looked to be modeled on a Payne Stewart type swing. You know,
it definitely wasn't Jim Furyk's swing.